Now I'm going to give you a basic interface overview for Rhino 3. If I go up here to my File menu, I have different save options: incremental save, save small, save as template. That will create a new template that you can use for any new document in Rhino. Your insert, import, export, properties, work session manager. A lot of these things you won't be using very often, and some of them we'll get into more detail later. Your edit menu has your basic undo and redo. You can undo several steps or redo several steps with the undo or redo multiple. Selecting objects. This allows you to select only specific objects in your scene. You can select them by layer, by color, or by the type of object. Your control points options. This has some useful things like, for example, selecting connected control points. And I'll show you how that can be used a little bit later. Visibility. This will allow you to hide or show certain aspects of your scene, which can make for faster rendering. Groups, blocks, layers. Basic tools like join, explode, trim, and split. A lot of these tools here are going to be found as well on the menu bar here. For example, your explode and your split tools. View has your viewing options, some viewport options, C-plane options, camera options as well. Now the curve, surface, and solid menus up here are probably going to be the three that you use the most often. To start out with, on your curve menu, basically you have all sorts of options for creating your curves. Circular curves, arc curves, ellipses, and then straight lines and polylines. Down here you have tools for using with curves: extending, filleting, chamfer, blend. A lot of these are very useful tools we're going to be getting into in much more detail. Surface menu, you have the same thing here. You can create a plane, you can create an extruded surface from a curve, edge curves. Surfaces are generally basic shapes that are going to be created directly from curves. And then your solids menu. Now this is what we call primitives: boxes, spheres, cylinders, cones, truncated cones. Primitive solid shapes which enclose a volume. And again, we have tools for the solids down here in this section. Your transform menu will help you bend and twist shapes. You can also orient them on another surface. For example, if you created a sphere and you wanted to copy it many times over a hill shape. Your array tool is here. Setting points, projecting to C-plane. C-plane means construction plane. Then you have more tools here in the tools menu. Object snap, your polygon mesh tools are found here, which you'll be using when you want to turn your NURBS shapes, your shapes that you've created from curves, into solid polygon mesh items, which could then be exported. Dimension, this is where you have your linear, aligned, rotated dimension, 2D drawing options. These options here would help you if you were doing some electrical drafting, for example, some very exact, precise measurement type of work. Analyze, this gives you properties and statistics for area, length, distance, edge tools, and diagnostics. The Analyze menu we won't be getting into except just briefly. And then, of course, your Render menu. Rendering is what you're going to do when you want to preview how your object is going to look with colors and textures and lights. Then, of course, Help. Here we have the command line, and in this one here, I can type any command. As you can see, if I type the word set, it will bring up a panel showing me different commands that use the word set. A lot of these commands can be accessed by using tools, tool buttons, and menus, but some of them cannot. The buttons here mimic a lot of the options that I just showed to you real quickly at the top. You have your document properties, your render options here, shading, object properties, layer properties. We're going to be getting into all of these later on in the tutorial. Here we have zoom, pan, rotate, your camera options, clipping, cutting, pasting, Save Open, and New. And then down here you have your tool buttons. And again, most of these tools are found here as well as here.